Alright lads, welcome to something that isn't a War Thunder vehicle review. Today we're going to be taking a look at a premium squad from the game Unlisted, a game also made by Gaijin. Well, it's published by them, and it's pretty much made by them as well. It's the same assets, it's a good game. Anyway, today we're going to be taking a look at the 34th Signal Company. This is a premium squad for the allied side of the Invasion of Tunisia campaign. Like all of Enlisted's premium squads, it can only be used in this one campaign. There are currently 5 campaigns currently in Enlisted, and again, this squad can only be used for this single campaign. This does mean by design, the premiums in Enlisted are quite poor value for money. You can only use it for one nation in one campaign. And as you'll see, the premium squads are very expensive. If you guys thought War Thunder premiums were pretty bad value for money, well, it's another level in Enlisted. Anyway, the 34th Infantry Division will cost you 4,200 gold. Now, this is Enlisted gold, and it's a lot more valuable, at least in terms of real life currency, than War Thunder's premium Golden Eagles. 4,200 gold will set you back roughly $42 or 42 euros. Although you're probably better going for the 5,000 gold bundle, which will cost you 49 euros or $49. Again, this is very, very expensive. And it's probably one of the biggest issues with Enlisted at the minute. It's kind of pay to win, and these starter squads aren't helping. But anyway, let's stop bitching, let's get onto the squad itself. Now this squad is consisted of 5 men, with 4 radio operators and 1 engineer. We'll come back to that engineer shortly. Anyway, all of these men are level 4 soldiers, meaning they come equipped with 4 extra skills. As you can see on screen, the extra perks you get is basically a buff to your reload speed, 35% more vitality, which is basically your health in game, 75% faster medkit speed, this allows you to heal a lot faster, and you have half the time to change between your firearms. This is only really useful if you do equip a secondary weapon, but this squad does not come equipped by standard with a secondary weapon. You basically have to upgrade it yourself. Anyway, back to the roles of the soldiers. As I said, we have 4 radio operators and a single engineer. We'll start with the radio men. These allow you to basically call in artillery. This is very useful in game. It allows you to call in heavy artillery basically anywhere you want, as long as you're quite close to it. This is very useful on the maps where you have to capture objectives. You can call artillery on an area to saturate it, basically killing or suppressing enemy fire in that location. It's very good for your teammates. You can get a lot of kills with it, but it shows up on the map a red ring, so people just vacate the area really. But it's a great area of denial weapon. We then come on to the engineer. Now this guy is a level 2 engineer, meaning he can produce pretty much everything an engineer can. Whether it's an ammunition pouch, an anti-tank triangle, anti-aircraft guns, anti-tank guns, or even a fixed machine gun nest. You can build it all with the level 2 engineer. This is very, very, very beneficial to your team, as you can also build spawn points. You can heavily flank, get up close to a target, put down a spawn beacon, allowing everyone else on your team to spawn there. Premium squads with engineers pretty much are the strongest in the game, because these guys are the most flexible really. You can defend well, you can attack well, and the combination with the radio operators mean you can call artillery as well on top of this. But enough of the boring stuff, let's get on to the weapons. Well, every man in this squad is armed with the Turner SMLE. This is basically a modification of the Lee Enfield rifle, which makes it semi-automatic. So instead of it being a bolt action rifle, it's now like an M1 Garand. You can just fire it as quick as you can press the left mouse button really. That does sound very powerful, and it is. You basically have the power of a full cartridge rifle turned into a semi-automatic. This gun is pretty much the most overpowered gun currently in Enlisted in my opinion, especially at medium to longer ranges. And because you can spam the fire button pretty much, it is actually really good in close range as well. Obviously not as good as a semi-automatic or a submachine gun, but as you've seen from the footage, it's still incredibly powerful in all situations. Every squad member also comes with a knife, an explosive pack for taking out tanks, and can be used for take out infantry, as well as a single medkit. One of the good things about Enlisted is theoretically you can fully customise your individual soldiers really. So you can put whatever you want in these slots with the exception of the primary weapon. Now with the radio man you are obviously going to have a radio device as you can see here, and on the engineer you will have the engineer's hammer. Because of this you can't really equip any of the large backpacks like the large ammunition pouch or the large grenade pouch, allowing you to carry extra ammo and extra grenades respectively. But because you do have a engineer in the squad, you can just build a ammo replacement pouch if you really do get short on ammo. It is a problem, you do only have 30 rounds of ammunition for your main weapon, but again, because you've got the engineer with that ammo pouch, you can just kind of camp around that and stay fully equipped. So, is this squad good in game? Well, it's pretty much overpowered really, as I've said. All of these factors combined together. You have the engineer, which can be, it's such a big force multiplier in Enlisted. For example, even the most basic things like the anti-tank emplacement things, do you know, like they see on D-Day, them like triangles that were in the beach. You can basically put them across a road and it just blocks off tanks from getting into wherever you want to block off really. And that's pretty much the weakest thing there is. You also have the barbed wire, you can put that all around the objective, which makes enemy players take damage if they try and capture it. And as I said, that we've not even spoke about the anti-tank gun or the anti-aircraft guns. Then the radio man, these aren't as powerful as, in my opinion, as the engineer. They are still very powerful though. You can call in artillery. Basically screws up any enemy attack. You can just pluck it on the head and they're not running through it. The Turner SMLE, as I've said, it is very overpowered. It's a full caliber rifle in semi-automatic basically. Guns in game like the Gewehr 43, they use a slightly shorter cartridge, SVT as well I believe, although I might be wrong. But with this gun, you retain the full power of the SMLE, so basically everybody's a one shot if you hit them in the chest upwards. And again, that sort of power with a semi-automatic gun is incredibly strong. So are there any downsides to this squad? Well, the biggest one is the price. It's nearly $50 to unlock. And again, you can only use it in a single campaign. Compared to War Thunder, where you can use a premium to grind out an entire nation, for example. It's just not great value for money. Because of that, I wouldn't really recommend an average player just going out and buying a premium Enlisted. The grind is awful in Enlisted, that is one of the major complaints with the game. But if you have a shitload of money and you don't really care too much about how it's spent on, then this premium squad is very effective in Enlisted. Sorry, bloody hell. I'm too used to making War Thunder videos. Will this squad get nerfed in the future? Probably not, because Gaijin tends not to do that. I don't really see how they could nerf it. There was a semi-automatic nerf in Enlisted history a few months ago. But even after that nerf, this gun is still incredibly strong. There is also another thing that buffs this squad's performance really, and that is that the allied teams tend to win quite a lot in the Invasion of Tunisia campaign. So not only do you have an incredibly overpowered squad, but you also have a artificially inflated win rate, shall we say, which does make the squad incredibly good for grinding. I bought the squad using my own money. I don't actually get the I'm not a member of the Gaijin partnership for Enlisted really, because I never make videos anymore. But if you've got a shitload of money, it is well worth it. It's a very strong squad. It's fun to play. You don't really get frustrated when playing it. Yes, you do only have 5 men. That is quite a lot more than some of the other squads. But there are squads that you get 9 or 7 men. But I'd say that the engineers, the radio man, the semi-automatic SMLE, and all the other great benefits of this squad does outweigh the negatives, apart from the price. So if you're rich, get it. If you want to be rich, you can dream of getting it. But if you're just an average player that doesn't really care too much about the game, then I can't really justify anybody spending €50. I spent it just because I'm stupid and bored really. But anyway lads, thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing. And if you really loved it, consider becoming a channel member, like Tomato Salad, Daboa LX, Just Someone, Destroyer 1805, Dr. Bob, Tans, William Tessier, and Lola Alfonsi. Thanks again for watching lads, and I'll see you in the next review.